Good morning, and sorry I am late. I can't turn my phone while recording. I have never done a Facebook Live before. So, what up? This is Alden from Stretch Lab Cherry Hills. How are y'all doing? This is day 76 of the quarantine, so I hope everything's okay. The dinosaurs have taken back over, as have the zombies, but luckily, I'm still going for runs. So I did a run this morning, and I figured I've already actually done my cool down stretch, which I do after I run. Well, after I shower and then after I run. But I've added this bad boy, so some foam rolling, to the equation, and then I'll usually stretch after. So this is kind of just my stretching routine or my foam rolling routine after I run. For anyone that gets plantar fasciitis or calf cramps or anything along those lines, it's almost always derived from your soleus muscle. So there's two aspects to your calf, and hopefully you can kind of see it. So there's your gastrocnemius, which is what everyone kind of thinks of as their calf, which you can see right there. And then there's your soleus muscle, which runs right there. And so this muscle is actually one of the most active muscles in the human body. It's also known as the little heart. So this muscle, the soleus, is involved in plantar flexion or toe pointing to look extra fancy. I hope you guys like my 80s fitness socks. It's just I didn't turn on the heat yet. It's also in knee flexion or bending the knee, which is from here to here. And then finally, it's super duper important. It constantly fibrillates, getting blood back from down here all the way up to your heart. So muscles have to fibrillate constantly to get blood from the bottom all the way back up. It's pretty easy from the brain down. Gravity helps you there. But on the way back up, it's exclusively muscles that bring that blood flow back to your heart so you can get oxygen and nutrients throughout your body. Oh, and final thing, for all of you people that stand a lot at work, medical staff, shout out to y'all, cleaning staff, stretching people, fitness people, anyone that stands a lot, the soleus muscle and the glutes are the two primary standing muscles. So everything else kind of turns off while you're just standing there, but your soleus muscle really fires. So it's one of the main causes of a lot of pain, and it's definitely one of the main causes of plantar fasciitis. So after every time I run, I do some foam rolling, because if you've ever had plantar fasciitis, you want to avoid that for the rest of your life. So there's several ways to do this foam roll. I call them by levels because I'm a video game nerd. So I kind of call this level 1, where I have both feet. It's kind of hard to tell from that angle, but both my legs are here on my foam roller. And I'm just going to go back and forth. If I find any tight spots, any sweet spots, I'll kind of hang out there for a breath or so. Right there's extra fun. I'm just going to roll back and forth on this. And that's just going to break up any scar tissue, any knots that have formed. Oh yeah, that's a nice spot. And then you can't see, so I'll change the angle. But what I'm doing is I'm pointing my big toes in different directions because the legs are basically tubes. And so I want to hit all the different sides of these tubes. So if I point my toes inside, I'm going to hit more of the medial aspect or the middle of my soleus muscles. And if I bring my toes to the outside, now I'm going to hit the lateral aspects. Now for this, I only want to do 3 to 5 passes. I'm actually a bit beyond that right now, which is okay for right now. But typically you only want to do 3 to 5 passes. The reason being is this actually releases from those knots and from that scar tissue a lot of, I call them bad guys, but a lot of free radicals, a lot of acidity gets released back into your musculoskeletal system, which is good in that it's the only way to get it into your blood flow, at which point you can get it back into your heart. But if you release too much at once, it's really, really hard to flush that system back out. So don't foam roll too much. The first time I ever foam rolled, I did it for like, I did my calves for like 30 minutes. And the next day I could barely walk. And the reason being is that I just didn't have enough water, enough fluidity, enough time to break up all those free radicals. So again, 3 to 5 passes on any particular muscle group. You can foam roll multiple times a day, but in any singular aspect, I only do 3 to 5 passes. So from here, gone over my soleus muscles or my calf muscles. Now I'm gonna go into my hamstrings. So this actually feels a lot easier. And now a main key with this is that again, I'm rotating those toes and I'm rotating my knees. Your hamstrings are 4 muscles. Your semimembranosus, your semitendinosus, and your biceps femoris, longus and brevis. I know, a lot of science today. You could ignore me on all of this. But I want to hit all 4 of those muscles, and all, because they all kind of have different functions. I mean, they all have essentially the same function, but they do it in different ways. So, got my hamstrings, got my calves. Let's go continue on the posterior chain. Let's hit my posterior, my glutes. So, I'm just gonna foam roll the glutes. Go nice and easy, I'm leaning back. Just going from one side to the other. Finding any sweet spots. That's definitely got some kinks to it. I'm just hitting my major glute muscles, my gluteus maximus muscles. So, from here, I want to get into my hip abductors, which are the outside of your hips. To do this, I'm going to have to flip and turn onto an angle. So to get my left side, I'm going to come, and you'll notice I have flipped my right leg over my left. Now, I'm actually going to take my sock off because it's kind of slippery. I'll be warm enough. It'll be okay. But this way, I'm actually producing the movement through this right leg. And this left leg is just staying long. You can't see it, but my foot is off the ground. And I'm just digging in. Feeling that piriformis is extra tight after my run this morning. So I'm probably gonna do 5 passes here. That's 1. Up here is more glute med. Down here is more piriformis. 2. I'm sorry I'm so pale. I would blame the quarantine, but that's just how my Irish skin rolls. 4, I think. It's hard to count while talking. And 5. And now I'm going to do that on the other side. So, hitting my glute max. Again, propelling myself with the other leg. The leg that I'm working on is just relaxed. And again, I'm going to take my sock off. I'm going to hit my hip abductors. Now, my right hip is actually substantially better than my left hip. I tore my piriformis and glute med simultaneously in a super fun accident last summer. And the crazy thing is, although I do try to take a lot of care of it, I hypervolted at work, I put muscle rub on it, I stretch it out daily, it's still tight. Your body remembers injuries very well, and it can take a while to get over those things. Last thing I want to hit is my quads. Now, I want to hit my quads and my IT band. Now, some people are super hardcore and they can use the foam roll on their quads and their IT bands. I can't. So I already posted a video about this earlier, I think, to our Instagram, or else it's going to be posted soon. But let me go get my super secret special tool for hitting the quads, and the IT bands, rather than using Satan's toilet paper. Toilet paper roll. And I just reorganized my kitchen, so I'm trying to find it. I've done a good job of putting things away. I have to remember where I put them. So, lastly, I'm gonna use a rolling pin, and I'm gonna hit my quads. Now, as the name suggests, quad is 4 muscles. So just like I was doing with the hamstrings, I'm gonna go to different sides. And so the beauty of using this, the rolling pin, versus the foam roller, I'm talking slowly because this hurts a lot, is that your foam roller, you're using your entire body weight and gravity to press down, which can be a little too intense for a lot of people, especially on the VMO, which is that teardrop spot right here. And so the beauty of the rolling pin is I get to decide how much pressure it is rather than my entire body weight. Woo! Woo! I need to do this more regularly. So back when I was doing this super regularly, which is back when I was running regularly, which is before the winter, this hurt a lot less. So if you do this consistently, you'll have fewer knots. Man, I can feel a crazy bunch of knots right here. You'll have fewer knots, which will mean less pain. So doing this consistently is super beneficial both to your body, and it makes it easier as you go. Kind of like everything else in fitness. Oh! You guys can't feel this? Oh. But it feels like I'm giving myself a tattoo with a rolling pin. So notice I'm really just hitting a bunch of different angles, finding different sweet spots and hanging out there. So that's kind of what I do after I run. I also do, hamstring stretches, glute stretches, and every other muscle group that I just listed off, I stretch that as well. But I figured I'd just go over rolling today. So thank you so much, and have a wonderful weekend. Get outside, but stay away from other people. So you can go hiking. It's totally legal, even with the in-shelter. You can go running, but just stay away from people. Wash your hands. We're going to get through this. Let Cherry Hills Stretch Lab know if we can help you in any way, shape, or form. We're trying to create a virtual one-on-one daily stretching routine for our active clients. So if that interests you at all, we're hoping to have that fully up and running starting early next week. So yeah, hit us up if you're interested. Otherwise, y'all be safe. Make sure you're hydrating, and yeah, be nice to each other. Bye.